Welcome, everyone. Please turn to page 361. If you want to sing along with Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, you can rise in body or spirit. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship and our multi-platform service. Hi, folks on Zoom. I'm Karen Griglak, your service leader for today, and I'm joined by the service associate, Brigitte Vieira. Our minister, the Reverend Lydia Ferrante Roseberry, is off today, enjoying a much-deserved break with her extended family. Julie Morris and Daniel Fields are providing us with music, and our tech team of Eric Williams, Mary Stackpole, and Don Price running our Zoom. And of course, we come to the most important people here today, which is all of you. For without you, there would be no us and no beloved community. So thank you for joining us. As I say the welcome words today, I invite those of you on Zoom to shift into gallery mode. And if you haven't already done so, scroll through the screen so that you can experience the beauty of this congregation. You are all welcome here today. In all of the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes, and sizes that come together in your uniqueness. You are welcome here. In the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all of the ways that you make your living and the places that you are from, you are welcome here. With all of the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here today. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. No matter how long you're away, nor how soon you will return, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you today. We acknowledge that the land surrounding us is the stolen territory of the Arapaho people, and that many other Native peoples roamed freely on this land for millennia before the arrival of white settlers. We commit ourselves to being a center for spiritual exploration and justice making, and to anti-racism and anti-oppression work within and beyond the walls of this congregation.
Good morning. There we go. Woo! Hi. If any one of you is new here, we are so glad that you found us. And we hope that together in this beloved community, whether it is in person or virtually, that you feel the warmth and love of this fellowship. And each Sunday is a little bit different here, so do please come back to get to know us. We have many opportunities throughout the week for exploration, social connection, and growth. And those on Zoom, looking at you, you can check out the links in the chat to help get connected to this fellowship. And those in person can find a newcomer form on the QR code on the back of your hymnal, or you can always stop by our welcome table to find more information about how to stay connected. All on Zoom are invited to our virtual coffee hour right after this service. And for those of us in person in the sanctuary today, you are more than welcome to stay and join us for coffee hour in Fellowship Hall. And finally, if there are any new visitors on Zoom who would like to introduce yourself, please do, because we love to know who among us is with us today. And are there any new visitors in the sanctuary in person today who wants to introduce themselves? Anybody else this morning? Okay, beautiful. It is so good to be together. Now we're going to light our chalice. If you have a chalice at home on Zoom, we ask you to light it with us. And so we know where all of our chalices are. You can also type it in the Zoom chat. And now please say the words along with me as Karen lights our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And now I'm going to sing our bowl again, inviting it to draw you deeper into this present moment and our gathered beautiful community.
Today marks the first Sunday of Advent, which comes from the Latin adventus, which means coming. The first mention of Advent in the Catholic Church goes back to the First Council of Saragossa, somewhere around 380. And over time, that mention turned into a season that stretches over the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. It symbolizes the coming and waiting expectantly for the Christ child, or SON. The Advent wreath that some of you may have grown up with, or may even still light now, actually came from the Lutherans in the 1800s. It has evolved and been adopted in the form that you see here today. 3 purple candles, 1 pink. And sometimes other people put a white one in the center, which is lit on Christmas Eve. It gets complicated from there. And while there is a complex liturgical meaning for many people around the world, there's also a more simple meaning that I want to share with you today, because these simple meanings speak to all of us gathered here today, regardless of your religious or spiritual tradition, or lack thereof. The first candle of Advent is a purple candle that Brigitte will light for us today. This candle represents hope. A hope for what is up to each of you. Hope for a more equitable and just world. A hope for your family's health and staying healthy. Hope that you only have to tell your children to pick up their rooms 3 times tonight instead of the usual 5. Hope that come the solstice and those long nights that just keep getting longer and that make your brain or your body hurt or become unhappy, that those start to get shorter again as the sun returns. Come on, everybody, hope. We're almost there. We have fire. Thanks for the hope, everybody. So we light this candle for all of our hopes. To celebrate this first Sunday, I want to invite all of you to join us in singing an Advent song. It is number 225 in your gray hymnal, O Come, Emmanuel. That was number 225. And if you would rise in body or in spirit as Daniel and Julie lead us on.
O come, Emmanuel, and with your captive children dwell. Give comfort to all exiles here, and to the aching heart bid cheer. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come within us love to dwell. O come, you splendor very bright, as joy that never yields to might. O come and turn all hearts to peace, that greed and war at last shall cease. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come within us truth to dwell. O come, you day spring, come and cheer our spirits by your presence here, and dawn in every broken soul as vision that can see the whole. Rejoice, rejoice, come within as light to dwell. O come, you wisdom from on high, from depths that hide within a sigh, to temper knowledge with our care, to render every act a prayer. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come within as hope to dwell.
Thank you, Karen, for opening our time together with this Advent wreath. The Advent wreath symbolizes a time of a waiting experience. And this got me reflecting about, what am I waiting for in this season of my life? Most days I can get so wrapped up in my head, and oftentimes I forget that there is a whole body attached to my noggin. And music can be one of those spiritual practices that brings me back in touch and in tune with the rhythm of this body. So singing that hymn with you all just now, these were the words that I felt in my bones. O come, you wisdom from on high, from depths that hide within a sigh, to temper knowledge with our care, to render every act a prayer. You see, I felt these words in my bones this morning because that is where the waiting room is for me today. It's in those depths that hide within a sigh. Because in this particular season of my life, I find that I have many heavy sighs in my day. And in this personal unraveling time, I am doing a lot of waiting in the threshold, that in between liminal space, which I often call the messy, murky middle. And during the holiday season, the losses that are happening in my life that accompany so much change sometimes feel even more acute. But when I slow down, which music can help me do, and accept the changes in my life, sometimes wonder can show up. Sometimes it's wonder that helps me see the changes in plans maybe are less an interruption and more an invitation into something else, something larger, part of that greater mystery. For me, in addition to music, a breath body-centered practice slows my anxious, busy mind and drops that center of gravity from my head to my heart and sometimes even lower to my gut. It's there where I can temper knowledge with care and render every act a prayer. Breathing meditations have become my daily dose of wonder in the waiting. And so this morning, I would like all of us to join together into a collective sacred pause with a silent meditation. You may want to soften your gaze, or even close your eyes. Take a moment to get your body comfortable. Sometimes I place one hand on my stomach and breathe in and back out. As I read these words by Thomas Rhodes, called A Meditation on Letting Go, notice the ways in which your breath is always there, sustaining you and connecting you to the present moment. Let us enter into this time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. Feel the earth beneath your feet as it supports you. Feel the love of this community as it surrounds and enfolds you. Feel your breath as it flows in and out of your body. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your heart. Take another breath and see if you can hold it. And then release. The air you hold in your body is the most precious thing in this world, for your very life depends on it. And yet, none of us can hold on to it for more than a moment, or else we would strangle and die. What is most precious to us must also be released in an exhale, so that we may live and live fully. What is most precious to us must also be shared, so that we may love and love fully. Take this moment to look into your life at the things that are most precious to you today. And look again, and you will find that their value lies not in being held, but in being shared. Life, love, laughter, longing. May we share these precious gifts so that they return to us multiplied beyond measure. And together we will take one more breath, breathing in and back out. And now I invite you to gently open your eyes, return your gaze, and focus on the space you're in today. And as you re-arrive into this gathered community, from this tender, soft place, may we all allow wonder to remind us each that we are all a precious gift.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance that we have in our lives and this community by giving half of our plate away to those organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate is for the Wild Animal Sanctuary. It was nominated by Diane Ladd. The Wild Animal Sanctuary travels across America and into foreign countries around the world to rescue animals that are suffering. Each rescued animal is rehabilitated and released into large natural habitats with others of their own kind. Their remarkable recoveries lead to a life filled with friendship, love, freedom, and joy. The Wild Animal Sanctuary caters 100% of their care to match each animal for who they are and what they've experienced in life before ever coming to the sanctuary. And as a result, through a highly specialized rehabilitation process, they change each animal's life for the better. You can text your donation at the number on the screen, or if you're in the fellowship today, you can place a donation into the offering plate as it passes. Please give generously as you so often do. As our musical reflection begins, we want to invite you to reflect upon and write into the chat if you're on Zoom your answer to this question. What is wonder-filled in your life today? Bless you. For the work of the fellowship, bringing love, reason, compassion, and justice to this world, and for the Wild Animal Sanctuary, we dedicate these offerings. For the entire month of November, we have been exploring the theme of change. Well, let's face it, for the last several years, we have been exploring the ever uncomfortable theme of change. Every time we thought that we were getting into a happy little groove of things, something, some tragedy, some illness, injury, accident, or insert other thing here has come along and made us veer off course again. Every person who stands up here on this dais has become very familiar with a word that we are very familiar with and have some definite feelings about: pivot. You see, the month of November has taught all of us about change. There is not a single service in the last month, starting with the Halloween service, that has gone according to the original plan. Not a one. And while it would be really easy to get bogged down in the, oh gosh, we've got to do this again. How am I going to do this? Or the stress about having to deal with another pivot, we've realized we have options on how to look at this. The holiday season, where we balance light and dark, where we celebrate miracles and the changing of seasons, the return of the sun, the stillness of snowfall, the worry about how are you going to do all of the things, the loneliness and the sadness about friends and family who are not with you because they have passed away, or they live too far, or they share beliefs so incompatible with your own that you no longer wish to be with them. All of these things, whether they're good or bad, are changes. And change is hard. And many of the people who are in the know have said that it can be a catalyst for anxiety, depression, and a whole host of other problems. The weight of the world and the weight of our lives is heavy, and it's hard. And it can really make us cynical. We see these terrible things that happen all around the world, and then comes the part that we don't always pay attention to. Then comes the part that reminds us that there is love in the world, and there is hope. There are more people responding to the cries of others, and there is more good in the world that we may pay attention to, especially when the bad seems to lead the news cycles, and not the hundreds and thousands of people that respond with love after the bad happens. So here is where we come to the title of this service. When things change, oh, what a wondrous thing. As we leave the theme of change in the rearview mirror, we are entering December and the theme of wonder. How, in all of this busyness, this pivoting, because of everything in the world, the never-ending to-do list of the season, are we to get out of our own way and give in to wonder? How do we not give in to all of those things that bring us down? The author Wayne Dyer says it better than I could explain my own thoughts. He says, "The essential lesson that I've learned in life is to just be yourself. Treasure the magnificent being that you are, and recognize first and foremost that you're not here as a human being only. You're a spiritual being having a human experience." Take, for instance, some things that have gone wrong in my holiday happenings over the years. I ran out of wrapping paper on Christmas Eve, late on Christmas Eve. So I used some scarves that I'd acquired and never wore. And I also took some paper bags from Trader Joe's and I cut them up and I used those. And I drew snowflakes on them to make them festive. I burnt the rolls. Not only did I burn the rolls, the bottoms were absolutely carbon. So we didn't have rolls with dinner. Hardly anybody missed them. But they did like that the breakfast casserole I made the next morning with the tops of the rolls after I cut off the burnt bottoms. And then there was the Christmas Eve where a clog somewhere in the dishwasher lines backed up to the kitchen sink, and nothing would go down in any of that. So we did the dishes in the bathtub. And instead of dwelling on all of that human stuff that just went wrong and getting stressed, we ended up laughing a lot and making really bad jokes about the situation in the kitchen. We make these lists of what we feel we have to do to make the holiday season perfect. We worry about what people will think about us if we don't pull everything off. And the thing is, no one but us knows what's on that list. No one will know if we don't pull it all off. In her song, "Love is Christmas," Sarah Bareilles sings the following phrases. "Why so scared that you'll mess it up? When perfection keeps you haunted. All we need is your best, my love. That's all anyone ever wanted. Love is how we do. Let no judgment overrule it. Love, I look to you and I sing. Let love lead us. Love is Christmas. Let love lead us. Love is Christmas." So maybe instead of making 4 desserts, you cut it back to 2 and ask somebody else to bring one. And you can take that saved time and go for a walk around the neighborhood with a friend or your kid looking at the Christmas lights. Or go outside and look at the stars. See if you can find Orion. Or look at how fat all the squirrels seem to be this year. Maybe it's just too cold out and you don't want to, so why not look online at some of the pictures that have come from the James Webb Telescope this year? Or get a laugh at the finalists for this year's Comedy Wildlife Photography Awards. Letting go of some of the things that keep us so wound up at this time of year and recognize that we are all magical spiritual beings worthy of love and peace and wonder in our own right. Finding those things that bring you to a point of awe and wonder can only make you a better human. Listen to the music that makes you smile or makes you tear up or makes you sing along completely off key. Pet your cat and listen to them purr, or walk your dog and look at the complex crystalline hoarfrost that's spiking off of the leaves in the early morning as you pass. And it's really okay that your dog is only interested in the rabbit that just hopped by, because you can find wonder in their wonder too. Instead of saying, "Oh goody, we have yet another holiday art project from Sarah's class," try really looking at it. For it is unique in a way that only a child could create. Chances are you can find the beauty in it that your child intended if you just look at it softly, like they do. And I am not saying that things won't go wrong this time of year. They probably will, possibly in spectacular fashion. And I'm not saying that there won't be really hard days to push through. There probably will. And I'm not saying throw away the whole to-do list, but maybe cross off a few things that no one will ever miss but you. Look for the silver linings in things, even if that lining is a bit tarnished. Look for the things that bring you joy. Let your mind lead with hope. Share the love that you have with others, and look for wonder wherever you can find it this season. For each of you is truly amazing. Blessed be.
And now, I invite us all into our time of community, connection, and sharing. If you are on Zoom and you would like to share a joy or concern, please type it into the chat window, sending it to everyone, and let us briefly know what is in your heart today. I will read aloud what you share, and Karen will add a stone of sacred waters on your behalf. And if you are in the sanctuary today, you can come up front, share a joy or concern using the microphone like a rock star, as Karen's showing, and add a stone to the waters. Or you can always add a stone in silence too. And wherever you are, please tell us your name, where you live, and what you'd like to share. And one last stone for all of those unshared joys and concerns that lie in the silent sanctuaries of our heart. And now I bring us into a moment of silence, followed by a brief prayer. Spirit of life and love, we gather today grateful for this web of community that binds us together in mystery and sacred, loving connection. Today, we especially open our hearts to those who are recovering from cancer, who are getting treatment or facing the endness of their disease. We also open our hearts to those who are facing upcoming surgeries. We also celebrate together with those who are exploring new vocations, whose bodies are healing from COVID, for those who are taking in the loveliness of cats and the joy of having family. And we also give love and support for all of those nagging tasks and chores on our to-do list, like cleaning our rooms. Yeah. And in this scurried season, may we slow down to collect and share those wonder-filled moments together. And we also find the rhythm so that we can honor that voice still and small, deep inside us all. May it be so.
You may stay seated, but you're invited to join in singing Voice Still and Small on page 391 in the gray hymnal.
Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in dark and rain, sorrow and pain, still you remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing, voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in dark and rain, sorrow and pain, still you remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing.
Now we come to the necessary portion of our service, the announcements. In today's Inquirers series, We would like you to join the building coordinator, David Burris, on a tour of our building, meeting in here at 11:30. And look for this gentleman in the back who's raising his hand, and he will help lead you. Everyone is welcome. Next week on December 4th, everyone is also welcome to a question and answer with Reverend Lydia. The Inquirer series are designed for newcomers to learn a little bit more about the fellowship, but it's open to everybody no matter how long you've been coming. We have our Hope is Hard to Find evening service for those who are struggling with the holidays and what the season brings. It is Thursday, December 8th, 7 p.m. in here. Masks are required for that service. We will not be having a service here on Christmas Day, but you are welcome to join the Boulder UU for a small service and a potluck. They have opened their doors to all of us. And that concludes the announcements. If you all would join us in extinguishing our chalice, the words will be up and you can repeat them after me. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. I wish to leave you with a few more wise words from Wayne Dyer. To be more childlike, you don't have to give up being an adult. The fully integrated person is capable of being both an adult and a child simultaneously. Recapture the childlike feelings of wide-eyed excitement, spontaneous appreciation, cutting loose, and being full of awe and wonder at this magnificent universe. Have a wonderful rest of your day as you go forth on your search for wonder. Blessed be.